Okay, I think we're recording. The purpose of this call, you guys, this Zoom call, was, of course, I've boxed you guys messages about what our plan is for this next 10 days or however long you want it to be. And I want this to be very, very flexible. You start today, you start tomorrow, you start next week. I think Sarah's going to start next week. But what my goal is to try the Shred10 with intermittent fasting. So just to remind myself, Darcy, have you done intermittent fasting before?
Never.
Jen, have you tried it?
Never.
Never. Okay. I have done intermittent fasting. Deanna has done intermittent fasting. In fact, she's done it with the Shred10, and that's why I wanted her to get on and share some of her successes and failures with it. I originally tried it with a book called The Fast Diet. Dr. Michael Mosley was the one that I originally did it with. This was before the Shred10, and I had some wonderful results with it, by the way. Or I started having some wonderful results, and then I moved over to the Shred10. But just a very quick, I'm not an expert on it by any means, but what this book informed me of is that fasting is also, along with you can lose weight, it's also good for your health. And many health professionals out there, more holistic ones, are kind of recommending fasting as an option or an alternative or a complementary modality for some health challenges, some weight loss, that type of thing. And there's multiple ways to do the fasting. This particular book, I fasted twice a week. So I would fast. I would fast in a 24-hour period, and it didn't matter when that 24-hour period started. I would fast for 24 hours, and I could have 500 calories within that 24-hour period. And as long as it wasn't 2 consecutive days, you just fasted 2 days a week. Again, the intent was weight loss and health improvements, from cholesterol to blood pressure to all kinds of fun things. It's a fun, I don't know if it's a fun read, but it's a good read if you guys are interested in what he has to say about fasting. And then the intermittent fast became popular. We start to see it on Facebook, and it was kind of the diet of choice, I guess, for people. And then I started getting the idea, as did I think many out there, because when I mentioned it to Jennifer Myers, she was very interested in it and had kind of been thinking along those lines as well. So I think many people are wondering, what if the Shred10, for whatever reason, whether it's not working for you anymore as from a weight loss perspective, or you've just been doing it for a long time and want to mix things up, because I don't know, again, I'm not an expert, and I'm waiting for you all to chime in when you want to and can, but my understanding is anything with my body, anything I've done for a very long period of time, my body gets used to it, whether it's the same exercise, whether it's the same eating habits, and then it doesn't work as well for the goals of weight loss and forming muscles and those types of things. And so I've been shredding, I think I told you guys, since like 2013, and so I need a change. And I think for anybody that's older, anybody that has thyroid problems, other issues, the shred isn't working as well once you've done it a few times. Any comments before I move forward? Okay, so again, what the intermittent fast will allow us to do is, again, mix it up a little bit. I don't know what results we're going to see, and again, that's why I only wanted in this group to be, reps and veteran shredders that we weren't going to have to coach. We're just simply going to be sharing our results. And so I'm urging you that if you are doing this intermittent fasting with the Shred10 and sharing your results, that you try to be as true to the Shred10 as possible, as what we agree upon here. Again, in 10 days, stuff happens, and you will, have a little oops here and there or whatever. But I really want you to be true to this if you can, because that's how we're going to know, if the intermittent fasting does add any benefit or not, maybe not. And Deanna's going to come on and share her stories where there's one time it didn't and one time it did. And, she's trying to figure out why it didn't and has some ideas on that, and would love to hear, you guys weigh in on that as well. So what the intermittent fast is then, is it is fasting every day for 16 hours. And so what I have done with it, and basically have kind of been using the shred rules, because that's kind of how we eat, not totally, but that's kind of how we eat anyway. But I've been traveling a lot this summer, so I haven't really got to use it for weight loss as much as I have just to maintain what I have going on and for health reasons. But so what it is I choose 6 p.m. to be done eating. So, and that's kind of what we do in the shred, but you can choose 7 or whatever works for you. So I'm done at 6. So last night I was done at 6, and you don't eat for 16 hours. So you choose then to eat again at 10 if you do that formula. And any break and fast, whether it is a drink with lemon in it, is considered a break and fast, okay? So you need to completely wait that 16 hours. If you goof up, then you might as well eat because you've broken the fast. It's not a fast, if you will. So, but what we've been trying to determine is what can you do during that 16 hours? Obviously, you can drink water. What the experts are saying out there, and I was doing some research, is, and I've been doing, is you can drink coffee. Now, that's against our Shred10 rules. But how I did it is I drank organic coffee, and it was black, nothing in it. You can also do, I think, green tea, they said. That's kind of the 2 things. If you guys are aware of anything else you can do. One of the things that Jennifer Myers talked about is what if when this comes out that maybe we use this instead of a coffee, right? Now, the only reason I use coffee is sometimes I get hungry in that 16 hours. You wake up at 7, 8, 9 o'clock, you get hungry. Coffee helps that. If you're not a coffee drinker, like Jen has kind of given up coffee, you don't have to use anything, but it's just for if you get a hunger pain, and it's kind of a nice treat because those of us that have been shredding haven't been using coffee. So whatever, you decide, but what I'd like you to do is record it. Did you use coffee or not? Did you use caffeine or not? And what were your results in that? But when I talked to Jennifer Myers about what we were doing, she said, well, I wonder if Lyft would be an option. And I'm going to open this, and I'm going to taste test it, and I'm going to test it from a energy perspective. I just haven't done it yet, and I'm going to record myself doing that. So I'll let you guys know what I think of this. I was gifted with this by Linda Shellhammer, so I'm excited to try it. Anyway, so again, 16 hours. I have been using black coffee in the mornings a little bit, organic. And the other question, I think, is, can we take our Juice Plus during that 16 hours?
Yeah.
Or do you have to wait? Comments on that? Anybody have an opinion on that?
I've never done this, so I do not know. I do have a question. Is there a sweetener in Lyft? I thought there was stevia or...
Well, it's not on the label.
Okay.
It says herb, what is that? How do you say that? Yerba mate, Y-E-R-B-A, mate, tart cherry, mango, guava, lemon peel, and beetroot.
Okay.
So I don't think there is, but good question. The other question the other comment I have heard made, and I don't know if this is from a reputable source or not, though, is if it's like, what did they say? If it's less than 5 calories or less, I don't know, they had some calorie threshold, but again, I have heard any kind of breaking fast is a breaking fast. So I don't know. I don't know if we should use our I think when I was talking to Sarah Vinn the other day about this, and she's very interested in joining us, she felt like you should not do your capsules during the fast.
I would think not, just because, I mean, it's food. Your body's going to react to it like food.
Right, right. So I think you should probably take all your Juice Plus between 10 and 6, or whatever your period is. So that's kind of out for discussion, debate. If anybody else has an opinion that's listening to this call too, I'd love to have you comment below when we post the recording, because I don't know the true answer to that, but I think I agree with you, Darcy. I don't think that we should. The other thing that I think you're going to hear from Deanna when she is able to jump on is you're going to have to make sure you get enough calories during that 10 to 6, because your body can start shutting down. And one of the downsides of intermittent fasting that I was reading on a blog the other day is it can mess with your hormones if you start letting yourself get hungry and you're not eating enough calories. And all of a sudden it's going to mess with your hormones. And so their advice was to make sure you're getting enough calories during that 10 to 6. And I think Deanna believes that that's maybe why it didn't work the time that it didn't work for her, is she wasn't eating enough. So if you can still get in those 2 shakes a day, I think that would be key for you. You know, again, Sarah Vitt and I had an offline call because she wasn't sure she could jump on this one. And she reminds me that the doctors have been so amazed at my mom's nutrition status and her protein numbers during her cancer treatments, and she's been on the Juice Plus Complete. And so from a health perspective, there's nothing better out there. Be careful what you're adding to those shakes, though, as far as how much fruits you're adding or how many calories you're adding, because that can be, I think, a challenge if you're trying to do weight loss. So be careful about that. But again, really want to watch your calorie intake. Comments on that, you guys?
I'm very unfamiliar with this. So, I mean, like, I know that stevia has 0 calories and 0 glycemic load on per serving. I just was not sure if that was something that you can sweeten with or not.
I would not do any of that during your fasting period.
Okay.
No, they make it very clear: black coffee, green tea, but no additives. So definitely would not put any non-caloric sweeteners or anything like that during that 16-hour period. The other thing Sarah mentioned is being mindful. She wanted to really kind of be mindful of the carbs. And I'm assuming she's talking about the simple carbs, not the complex carbs. And I wouldn't even call those simple, like the black beans. She was wondering if that would impact things a bit as far as weight loss. We're just trying to figure out, again, because those of us that have been doing this for a while, it's starting to move slower. And especially if you're in that 50, 40, age 40, 50 age group. And if you've been doing it as many years as I have, I'm having to work really hard to, mix it up a little bit, I think, for my body. So if you're wanting to try some of the carb counting, or go ahead, Darce.
Well, I was just wondering, I mean, I know that like paleo and keto and that have fasting as well. And so obviously they're watching carbs and fat intake. And so I don't even know, based on the book that you did, is there a recommended amount of carb and fat? And no.
They did not count any of that in here. That had nothing to do with their weight loss. And there's very significant weight loss and successful weight loss just by watching fasting, just by letting your body fast during that 16-hour period. So no, it wasn't necessary at all. Now, we know for shredding that the best thing to eat are fruits and vegetables, and ones that are high in fiber and so forth, right? And you bring up keto, and the people that are counting the carbs and not wanting to eat any fruits and vegetables. Well, that's where you get your fiber. So how does that even work?
It doesn't. You're not eliminating then.
Yeah, I don't even know how that works when that's where you get your fiber, is from your carbs, from your complex carbs. So I don't know, that whole thing just confuses me. I can't even, but yeah, that's what I know about that. And again, I'm not an expert, so we're just kind of blind leading the blind here. And like I said, I've read a couple of books and tried a few things and read a few blogs. So if you guys want to get out there and read some and study some and bring facts to the table or information to the table, we are all open to that.
I was mentioning this to a girlfriend, and she mentioned that there are apps for intermittent fasting.
Oh, I don't know. Well, no, I don't know. let's see, what I did learn about an app the other day. Hold on, I was going to tell you guys about that. But no, do you know anything about them, or have you looked into it?
I know she's using it, and she lost 10 pounds in a month using it. So she really didn't put any other restrictions on herself. So
here's what someone did tell me about. There's something called it's called gluten-free scanner app. So when you're in the grocery store, you have this app. All you got to do is hold the UPC code or whatever it is up, and it tells you if there's gluten in it or not, if you're in a hurry.
Love it.
So that was cool. So I would love to know more about this intermittent fast. So it helps you what? Do you think it helps you?
You can schedule how you want to do it, like how many hours per day. So it actually clocks you down and helps you to stay on target, and you then can track your calories on there.
So you kind of truly know what you are eating.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm really bad. One thing I've always enjoyed about the Shred is we don't count any calories, we don't count carbs, we don't count fats, we just do it, and that's been freeing and relaxing to me. But it would be interesting to find out how many carbs or how many calories we really are eating.
Especially doing a test trial to see how this goes. It just going to help to monitor that to help others.
I think I'm going to look into that app, Darcy.
I'll see if I can find it. I'll ask her.
Okay. And you know, what's fun about then those of us that are using the Shred with it is we kind of know then how to eat well along with the intermittent fast. So we should be able to see amazing results, right? Because we know how to eat well. So I would think the combination should be amazing. So she lost 10 pounds in how many weeks did you say, Darce?
In a month.
In a month.
Mm-hmm.
So 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
A little over 2 pounds a month or so, or 2
pounds a week. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, I'm definitely going to try to look up that app and see what it says. Other comments or anything you guys can think of, any questions? So somebody asked me, well, what are your expectations of us? Again, my expectations are if you could check in, you know, most days. And, you know, we don't have to do the whole hubble up picture, whatever, which is fun to connect with each other that way. But I just want you to say, hey, you know, yes, I did the 16 hours a day. What worked for you? What didn't work for you? What felt great for you? How are you feeling? And like, you know, can you work out okay with the Shred10 and the intermittent fasting? My answer is yes, I've been able to work out just fine. And of course, we want to get in workouts most days, like we normally do with the Shred. And I've not had any lightheadedness or any problems with using both of these things and working out. It's worked out fine for me. Now, to be honest, what I have been doing though, I'll be upfront about this. I've been cutting back to 1 shake a day. Sarah feels like we should still do 2 because that's what the Shred calls for, and that's really where the magic has been with our Shred. When we didn't do the 2 shakes, people got hungry.
Bless you.
You know, it's just an easy way to get good food in your diet using the shakes. But I had cut back to 1 shake a day. So I'm going to go back up to 2 shakes. I am going to try to be true to that. So I think the only Shred10 rule that we're breaking then is the coffee, being able to have coffee. I think, as far as I see it. When I looked at the rules earlier, I actually made I don't have it in here, I made Dennis and I each a little tracker poster to put on a wall, so I'm trying to encourage him too. So I made tracker forms for us to put up on the wall.
Okay, she says it's Y-A-Z-I-O. Yazio? Yazio?
I'm going to go to my apps here. Let's see. Y-A-Z-I-O. Body Fast Intermittent. Get. Doesn't say that it costs money. We shall see. Ooh, processing payment. Well, it didn't say it cost money, but then I got the message processing payment. So, anybody else have a, does their phone show that it costs money?
No. She thinks it costs $30 a year, but
Whoa.
I just did it and our phones don't let us. Oh, there is a 3-month, well,
Mine didn't tell me that it cost anything, but all of a sudden it said that they processed a payment, or it gave me a,
you have to pay for certain features. So like if you want certain things on it, then you have to pay extra for that.
well, it says in-app purchases, coach subscription, 3 months is $27. So if you get a coach, you have to pay money.
Yes.
But just for the app, no?
Just for the app, no, but other features, you pay more for it. Like the calorie counting, I guess.
Well, that's kind of important. That's what we're asking for. If we need to get at the rates to do so next. Well, I'll do some more looking on this too.
It's Ashley, and she's also taking Juice Plus, so she's really, that's really helped her, she said. So I tried to get her, I did not get her to try to join our group, but I might.
This group that we're doing now?
Yeah, since she's already doing intermittent fasting, maybe she can.
Okay, just to be in full disclosure and just to make you aware, so we may be talking negatively about, like this didn't work, that didn't work, whatever. I just want to make sure that you guys are careful about who you add, but you're welcome to add them as long as you're comfortable with what might be said in the group.
Okay, you just talked me out of it.
Well, yeah, I just don't want, I just don't want you to be disappointed. Oh, here's Deanna. Awesome. She's got good timing, so I can have her share a story. Deanna, can you hear us? I see that you're here. Your video's not active, and I don't hear you. Hello. Deanna, can you hear me? Just to let you know, I cannot hear you. If you want to call me on my phone, I can put you on. Ooh, there. Deanna?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. We can hear you now. Your time is really good if you're ready to share your story and your experiences, what you've tried. We've kind of gone through what intermittent fasting is and so forth, and some questions that we are having. But I'd love to share your story of the 2 times you've tried it, and some of your results and some of your thoughts about why it happened and so forth.
Okay. Well, I decided to try to use intermittent fasting alongside the shred. So what I would do is I stopped eating at 6 o'clock at night, and I started again at 10 o'clock the next day. So what is that, 16 hours, I think? Is that right?
Yep, that's it.
Yep. And that's kind of what they suggest. And so I did drink coffee. and then I use the Shred10 rules during the day. The first, and I've done some intermittent fasting over the years and lost a couple pounds a week doing it. But when I did it for 2 weeks with the Shred10, and I believe I lost close to 10 pounds that time. The first time I got real serious about it, and then I tried it again and got real frustrated because I think I gained a pound, and I was very, I did, the second time I did it almost 2 weeks, but I also realized after the fact that I was really busy, and so I didn't really eat very much either. And so there's that piece where you have to make sure you're eating enough too of the right things. And I also realized that I probably broke my fast a little. What did I decide I was eating, Leanna? Or was I taking my Juice Plus? Or I think I'd had a couple of mints or something here and there, and I did that automatically. And I think, that I could have potentially have broke my fast. And I know Leanna was reading that, you just have to be really militant. It's weird how much of our eating, of course, you don't even think about.
Mm-hmm. The first time you lost 10 pounds in 2 weeks, right?
Oh, I think it was somewhere around 8 to 10, I think somewhere in there. Yeah. So it worked really well.
Which is a lot more than you normally did just with the Shred, correct?
Right.
At least the last few years, not maybe initially, but the last few years.
Right.
And then the second time you gained a pound during that same period, basically, in your opinion, kind of pretty much following the Shred and doing the intermittent fasting, and you gained a pound.
Right.
And exercise-wise, you're pretty consistent.
Yeah, consistent exercises,
So bottom line is the only thing you can think of is you might broke fast here and there?
Well, I remember, thinking I had, the mints at night. We were doing some night programming, so I threw a mint in my mouth. And I think that, so I don't know how much that would have affected it. But I would also say to you that I really didn't eat a whole lot of food. Now, I was much more into the food preparation the first time, and so I know I ate more the first time of the 2 times I'm talking about. I know that once I got done on that second time, I realized I really hadn't eaten a whole lot at all.
Because I do find that your metabolism changes. I'm not nearly as hungry once I get started on this intermittent fast stuff daily. And I think that's why this book maybe recommends it twice a week, is because I do feel like I am not as hungry. So I think you could fall into that habit of.
Well, another thing I would say to you is the first time I was much more religious about doing 2 shakes. The second time we had talked about maybe that was making people gain weight as you got older. And so I kind of let loose on the 2 shake thing the second time around.
Yeah.
And I did that. I did not do that as much at all.
So I still think that's where the magic is. I think we have
I think it would help with the calories too, right?
Yeah. So we brought up, should we or shouldn't we do Juice Plus during the fast? And Darcy and Jen, I don't think you weighed in, but we kind of felt like probably not. And I think, is that what you're feeling too, Deanna?
Do it while you're fasting? You mean do it, but you'd rather do it during those 8 hours you're eating? Right. Is that what you're saying?
Plus during the 10 to 6 or whatever your time is between the 16 hours. Yeah. That's when you should.
Which is easy enough to do, right? So.
Right. It's not a thing, I don't think. So I think trying that. Anything else that's on your mind as far as what you'd like to change or do different?
Well, I know that I think the coffee's an important part of it. So for me, it was in terms of staving off hunger in the mornings. but and I think the rest of it should work.
And we kind of know what to do with the rest of it. I think Sarah's going to try to count carbs a little bit, like beans and stuff. I think she's going to try to stay a little away from that just a little bit for her. And Darcy and I found, well, Darcy found an app called, what's it called?
Yazio?
Yazio. It's an actual intermittent fast app. We were just going to experiment with that a little bit. See, we're not quite sure yet how much it cost. It implied it was free, and then it maybe implied there was something there. So we got to figure that all out, and I can get back to you guys on that too. But or if you,
it is free unless you go pro.
Okay. So
and then pro adds all these other features on it. So.
And so we're going to see if the free version allows us to do any of what we want to do, I guess, right?
Yes. I have a question.
Okay.
Does anybody else take thyroid medicine? Nope.
No, Jen, you don't take thyroid medication, do you?
No, I don't take anything.
Okay. Because I take my thyroid medication when I wake up in the morning, and then I normally wait. I mean, I'm in a routine of waiting like an hour before I eat. So the question is, with fasting, I'm assuming I can still take the medication though, correct?
Well, and Deanna, that's a question for us too, because we do the hormone at night. Which one before we go to bed?
Progesterone, and then that's in a sublingual underneath your tongue. So does that break your fast if you're doing that?
And
yeah.
oh, by the way, I was looking at the ingredients the other day, and it's got stevia in it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good point. Well, that's a tricky.
Yeah, and I can't remember if the first time I lost that weight, I can't remember if I was taking that at the time, Leanna. I don't really remember that.
Yeah. Well, that's a little tricky. And I do know that someone else that's doing this with us is on some medication as well, and she was asking me the same question. She said, you know, I mean, definitely take it, but it's outside the, you know, it's whether you can take it during the fasting window.
Right.
I wonder if I can find someone to ask that question to that would be an expert. You know, I might ask.
Remember that?
Go ahead, Dee.
Well, remember that website that I tagged you on where people were talking a little bit about it, intermittent fasting?
Yes.
That was on one of those rep sites.
Yes.
I wonder if you can ask any questions to people on that, but I don't know.
I was wondering if, you know, Sheila Ginrich is now a coach for some intermittent fast organization. I wonder if she would be willing to answer that question for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to find that question out because I definitely took my medication my hormones. It's progesterone, but it's got I just read the ingredients the other day. It's got some stevia in it. And Deanna, I was mentioning, I was kind of going out there in preparation of this call, reading some intermittent bloggings and some, a video of this gal. And she did say, well, of course, number one, eating enough calories. If you don't eat enough calories, it messes with your hormones. But she also said that, what was I going to tell you? That's not what I was going to tell you. Shoot. Oh, I had an important point. What did she say? We were talking about medications. What were we talking about? Shoot.
Calories.
Oh, well, she said, yeah, she definitely said eat enough calories. That was a big key. But I thought
calories mess with your hormones.
Yes, because of your hormones. But there was something else she said that I thought I was going to tell you guys. Oh, sugar.
I know water intake's important too.
Yes, huge. Huge. So enough calories, water intake. It seemed like there was one other comment I wanted to make, and I don't know what that was. I don't know. So we need to find out about the medication stuff. We don't know about that. Any other questions that we might not have answered here?
Leanna, I have a suggestion or a thought.
Okay.
because there are, can you hear me?
Yes, good. Well, we could. Now we can't. We heard the "can you hear me" and now you're gone. Shoot.
Hello?
There.
There you are.
Not fast.
Oh, there's video.
Oh, but now I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
now I can.
Okay. I had a thought. I love the app idea, and I was just thinking, that the Ultimate Juice Plus came up with the Shred10 app to help people while they're shredding, but just to kind of document and diary what they're eating, what they're doing, their shakes they took. So some days I forget if I've taken a morning shake. Did I do that, or did I not? Did I take my Juice Plus? But I was thinking on this one, maybe we should all journal what we're doing and see what's working, because how much water are we because I'm a big water drinker. I drink lots of water. Whether you're taking your medication during your fasting or not, because some people have to take them at certain times of days and night, whether they're fasting or not. Thyroid medication is a livelihood. You could die without it. Same with, diabetics who have insulin or whatever. They have to take that medication even if they are doing an intermittent fasting in the future or whatever. So I'm wondering if we should just all take a really good food diary, real good, diary of when we're eating, how much we're drinking, measuring, counting out, trying to keep track of calories or carbs, compare case, and then comparing notes. I really noticed this helped a lot, or this, or that, or you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. Any information. I know everybody's busy, but any information you can, add. And for me, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I drink water until my urine is clear. That's kind of how I gauge that. But I can track it to see how much I'm drinking for sure. But
Yeah, unless you had asparagus.
and then what does that do?
Oh, it makes it smell bad, and it comes out not so clear.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I love asparagus, though.
I know, me too.
So good.
Any other comments you want to add, Deanna, to the experience that you've already had?
No, I think that's about it.
You share.
So when you did your fast, Deanna, was it only for the 10 days, or do you do it all month?
Well, you always want to do it for the whole month, but never happens that way. So I would say I was really good for probably 10, 12 days. You taper off in that because it's really hard to eat. I shouldn't say it's really hard to eat by 6. You just have to plan like a maniac, right? Your whole life has to be planned by mine anyway. So I would continue for a few. I know I can probably continue for a couple of days after that, but it's very easy to let it slip.
And if anybody wants to do what this guy recommends, if you want to take a spin off intermittent and go to the fast diet, he recommends, again, 2 24-hour periods in a week and 500 calories.
My thing is, the hardest thing about that whole fasting thing is starting. It's like, okay, now tonight, do I get done at 6 and then I don't start till noon? It's really hard. Starting and stopping is really challenging.
But what's interesting, yeah.
So he says 2 days a week, and I almost think it's easier to do it 2 days in a row, because it's the hardest thing is starting and knowing when to start it. It's like, okay, am I starting this tomorrow? When am I,
Yeah.
Yeah, but he says you can't do it 2 days in a row. The rules for this guy says not 2 days in a row.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah, right. But remember, if you start at 6 one night, you can break your fast then at 6 the next night. That's 24 hours. So whenever the last time you put a morsel in your mouth, you can start the fast right then. So you can do it through when you're sleeping, and so if you want to.
Well, and if it's not 24 hours, right? It's 16. So I start at 6 o'clock, and then I can eat at 10 o'clock the next day, and then I eat my 500 calories in that window, and then I start at 6 o'clock the next night. That's why I'm saying it's so weird.
No, this is
that you almost have.
Deanna, this fast diet's 24 hours. This is a total different program.
Oh, I see. So he wants you to fast for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is a 24-hour, 2 days a week versus intermittent fasting, 16 hours daily.
So no, intermittent fasting also has a program where you do it 2 days a week. You can pick any 2 days. You can pick 2 consecutive days, and you can eat during an 8-hour window.
Right.
It's 500 calories.
Okay, yeah, that's not his. The fast diet that I was representing earlier is 2 days, not 2 days in a row, and 24 hours. So obviously there's lots of different programs then.
What I'm quoting is the book that you and I have. That's in the book. Because I reread that recently, and that's from the book.
The metabolic, I got 2 books here. The metabolic.
It was a fast diet.
Oh boy. Huh.
So, yeah, the fast book that you originally had me buy. I'm not at home right now, but the one that I originally bought, it was the fast diet, and that is where that information comes from.
Well, right on the sleeve it says you can just limit your calorie intake for 2 non-consecutive days. So I know that part is right.
Okay.
Because that's right on the book cover. And I thought
that's interesting because, yeah, I'll have to go back and look because I thought you said you could choose anything you wanted to. But
I think you're intermittent fasting on those 2 days. And so you're not eating for 16 hours in those days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe those are I don't know. But he clearly says you cannot do 2 consecutive days in his.
Right.
In the cup jacket, okay.
Yeah, I read some of that. But I also have another one that's
The metabolic effect diet.
I've read a few of them, but and the backs tend to be blurry. But you can pick and choose what you want to do. Maybe what I'll do is I'll have a check-in, and you guys can all tell me if you're participating in and which program you participate in, and what you're choosing to do, so we kind of all know. So there's that. Okay. Anything else? So we have at least one outstanding question. That's medication. If you guys do any research on it and find anything out, or if you know any experts on it, and can reach out to them and let us know on that. And Jennifer, just to follow up on your comment is, definitely always take your medication during any of these programs, but it's whether you can wait and not take it during the fasting or not, right? I mean, we're never saying not take it. That's not for us to say, but it's whether we can take it during that fasting period or not, I think. And then you got to choose. If you can't take it during then, you can't, or you have to take it during then, you have to.
Well, and Leanna, didn't you just read something recently about you can't put how easy it is to break that fast? You really can't do anything but water or tea. Right?
I did. And then
did you read that?
Yes. And then somebody else's opinion, as long as it was less than 4 calories or 5 calories or whatever, which that was an opinion, like you can find any opinion on the internet, right? So be careful, I don't know. So I don't know. I'm reciting what I've read, whether any of it's true or not. Pick an author and go with it, I guess. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So there's that. Okay, guys. Was this helpful? Anything else before we let you guys go?
I was just doing some quick reading while we were talking too. It seems like when you're doing your fasting, your body works more efficiently during the time that you're actually fasting. So that's why the body will absorb more medication during that time, which that's why they're saying it can affect.
Oh. So
it can change hormones, and actually looks like any medication. So we definitely need to look into that just to see.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting, isn't it? Fascinating.
And it talks about how there's a drop in, like for thyroid, there's a drop in the T3 hormone levels during fast, which is important because that's associated with energy. So it's the conversion process that it's absorbing more. So you have T3, but the conversion to the T3 can lower your energy level during that time. But you know, if you know how the thyroid works, a lot of times it doesn't affect you until like a month later.
So there, you know, so you could experience some different things fasting than the next person. Yeah.
Yes.
That's interesting. You know.
So yeah, we need to look into the medication portion of that and really find out.
Yeah, I think so. So anyone listening to this call, if you take medication, I'm going to leave it up to you to be responsible about that. I'll certainly weigh in as to what I learned, but you know, be mindful and responsible to check into that before you make any commitments, of course. Okay.
Cool.
Go ahead and you guys, please, you know, post and comment on this thread if you have anything else to add to anything we've talked about today. And I appreciate you guys just checking in from time to time, but we're not coaching, we're not doing any of that kind of stuff. We're just kind of letting each other know how it's going. We're going to keep it simple and easy but make this beneficial to each of us to find
I have
out.
one more question. Are we following a plan so that everybody's doing the same thing so that it makes it easier for us, or is everybody going to be doing something a little different?
Well, my idea was to let everybody try what they were comfortable with. I don't know. I guess there's some, you know, to see but of course, and everything's going to work different for each of us. So
I know. It's going to be hard to judge if we're not all doing the same thing. Because then how do you tell other people about it? Well, so-and-so did it this way, and so-and-so did it that way, and so-and-so did it this way.
well, my thought was that we did the 16-hour fasting, not the, you know, the intermittent 16-hour fasting versus the two 24 hours. I think that's what my idea was, and that's what Deanna used the last time she did, or the last 2 times she did it.
And how many days a week are you?
Well, every day for
every day. Okay, for those 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did every day for 10 days, and you know.
Okay.
So good point, Darcy. Maybe we should all agree then to do that, you know, at least 10 days, every day, 16-hour fasting to kind of contrast and compare.
Yeah.
For each of us. I like that. Okay. I'll put that in the header of this call. That's
Okay.
what we decided on then.
Sounds good.
Okay. And as soon as anybody finds anything about medication, if you would enlighten any of us, that'd be awesome too. Okay. Thanks, guys. I'll let you go. I'll end the call here. Record.